Heartache for Hawthorn for the second straight week, another nail-biter culminating in a 3-point loss to Adelaide. There's plenty of positives to pluck from the game despite the result, and we're going to get to all of them right here on another jam-packed edition of the Hawk Talk podcast. My name is Nick Mason, and with me as always is my co-host Tiz, a man who's been delighted with the form of a certain Irish enforcer. Let's cut to the chase. It's the return of Connor Corner.
Connor Corner, Connor Stadium.
Well, someone was there.
That's awful. It was a bit pathetic, the crowd. But anyway, Connor Nash turned it on.
Oh, didn't he just? 28 touches at 85.7% disposal efficiency, 15 contested, 15 uncontested, but you don't want to talk about any of that. You want to talk about one of two things. We'll cover both. It's the goal and it's the tackle.
It's the goal for me, but for most people it's the tackle.
Yeah, okay.
That tackle was thunderous. Beautiful. Went round the league. Everyone's sharing it. That's what footy used to be like, making your opponent feel it.
I was sat down at the Glenferrie Hotel to watch this game with my family, and the whole place erupted. It's a thing of beauty.
Absolutely. It's an art. And he's done that a few times. Big tackles like that. I remember his first game, he took out one of the Sydney players. I looked at it early, and I messaged you. I said, Connor's on today.
Yeah.
The con is on.
Yes.
No, put it out there. I said MVP today because he was close last week.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he carry on with it? And then that goal, 45, never in doubt, although you had your doubts, never in doubt, very high. Oh, just a wonderful goal. Unfortunately, he missed the set shot, which probably would have seen us win.
You are all over the shop here. You can't maintain any focus. You just and then he did this, and then he did that, and then he's MVP, and then he...
It was great. I enjoyed every moment of Connor's game.
Store.
Yeah, him and Nuke were just doing what they liked in that midfield.
7 tackles, 23 pressure acts in all for Connor as well. 7 inside 50s, 5 score involvements, including 1 goal, 1 for himself. Now, Tiz, it's special because we're beginning to witness the start of something. Start of something pretty exciting. It's what wasn't happening in the final years of the Clarko era. They could never really tap into his potential, but we're starting to unlock it now. And what a time to do so with Bontempelli and Nash next week.
1 week at a time, please, Nick. 1 week at a time. Bont's looking at a Brownlow this year. That's his sole aim, I reckon.
In fairness to me, I'm going 1 week at a time. Connor Nash was good last week. He was good this week.
Wonderful to see a young man with all that effort and being overlooked in round 1, of course. He was medical sub. You know, he's just hitting his straps. Day comes out the side. Nash is given a role, and now he's got the confidence to go get the ball, hand the ball off, passes to Ferg, at 15 out from goal. That was magnificent. Mm-hmm. Come on, the weight on that kick. How many players can do that? Anyway, I shouldn't. It's just too good. He's finally doing what we thought he could do.
This is one of those episodes where I wish we had visual for the listeners. You are. Yeah, this is very entertaining for me.
I wish I'd been there. You know, he would have heard me. Definitely.
Well, it's because there were so few people there.
No. Had nothing to do with it. I got a megaphone in my pocket.
What are they doing in Launceston? Why did no one rock up? It was a great game.
It was, but you know, they got the sniff of their own team, so they'll hang on to their cash until that happens.
All right, that's what it is.
Yeah.
A bit bitter about everything that happened during the week. Didn't the Greens pull out of that?
Oh, I don't know. Haven't caught up with that. All I know is we saw Adelaide the previous week make Carlton look terrible.
Oh, yeah.
And then we made Adelaide look pretty second-rate. Like, we had them on the back foot. Our tackling pressure was amazing. We kept giving the ball back in that first half. We improved that in the second half, and then we went to water again in the last quarter and gave up the result. But it took, a fantastic kick by Fogarty.
Yeah.
Who doesn't seem to miss. Never seemed to miss the previous week either.
Mm-hmm.
And then GWS, they had to find Mark of the Year to beat us.
That's right, yeah. It's been a fortnight of just clutch finishes from opposition to put Hawthorn away. And that's, you got to see that for what it is.
Yeah.
We've been in winning positions the past fortnight and we haven't been able to get it done. But look what it's taken to put us away.
We had a 7-day break. They had a 10-day break. We played, 3 games in 14?
I thought you were going to say we played a forward line of Scrimshaw and Long
Yeah, yeah.
That hasn't happened
There's
before.
that as well. And they weren't getting it out of there easy. We had good pressure in our forward 50, which is something that we've been looking for years. And then you got Fergus Green, who kicks 3 straight. You know, they're doing everything they can, and they're not getting a reward with a W, which is practically why I wrote to you and said perfect.
You did. Explain
At the
yourself.
final siren.
Explain yourself.
Perfect, because they did everything right, but the game went against them. Even the expected score is 86 for Hawthorn and 83 for Adelaide. And, of course, we lost by 3 points. We lost 76 to 79. But for those of you who are playing for the Harley Reid Cup as supporters out there, you cannot deny that this is the perfect result. But it does not augur well for the future, because you're not going to lose to West Coast and Tassie doing that. And people have, written on Twitter, how on earth are we going to manage the loss to West Coast?
Exactly.
With Connor in this form.
If we're talking stocks, I heard it, don't worry. We're going to get back to it, because I know it's useless to resist.
Yeah.
I might as well just feed into it.
Yeah, you just got to lean in.
But if Hawthorn...
Not in too hard, because it'll hit you. But
if Hawthorn, we're talking about stocks, you would buy Hawthorn at the moment. You'd buy shares, because I think we're on the upturn rather than down. We're very close to registering 4 points. Very unfortunate not to have done so in the past fortnight. But, all right, back to Connor, mate. Because I got a question from Lana at Hawk Talk Pod over on Twitter. Has Nash prematurely ended Finn McInnes's career at Hawthorn?
Wow.
It's a huge call, but I'll continue. Nash not only is turning into a clearance and contested possession bull, but he can also lock down any player, which was Finn's main strength. I don't think there's room for both of them in the team.
So he's the biggest bodied midfielder we had, and he's playing like it. Okay? And he's leading the boys, and you saw Newcomb's, I want to say adoration, but really was exhilaration at that goal that Nash kicked.
Oh, it's the tackle.
Was it the tackle?
Yeah.
I thought it was the goal where he...
Oh, maybe off screen.
But jeez, he's bringing boys with him now. He's bringing the team with him now, and that's what you need, because you got Sicily well at the back, and he'll only ever be observing when we score.
Yeah.
Right? He'll be involved in the lead-up play. But for the immediate surroundings, you got to have leadership up the field. And it's just this energy about it, isn't it? Nuke and Nash were excellent.
Yes. Dynamic duo. Love to see it. The point of difference with Nash compared to Finn is that attacking flair. And that impact, the impact that Nash has offensively, it just overshadows what Finn can do right now.
Yeah, so Finn, he went down to the VFL. He had a lot of possessions on the outside, 20, 26, something like that.
26, yeah.
And, that's good for his game. I'm not sure that giving him such strict roles in the AFL was great for his development. But he does have trouble getting his own ball, and that was, that hasn't changed with 1 week in the VFL. So he'll be down there for a little while.
Yeah.
He's very good at linking. But getting his own ball is something that he didn't really have to do in his junior days because he had some very, very elite players on the inside. And so he's got to develop that himself. So it could be a little while, but he's got the body for it. He's got the mind for it. He's got the determination. I wouldn't write off Finn at all.
No, certainly not. I think Nash is the one keeping him out at the moment. But no, it's not a foregone conclusion at all. We spoke of John Newcomb. Listeners were wondering if maybe he'd taken a backward step, but he's since rocketed back to his best. 26 touches at 80.8% disposal efficiency, 8 marks, which is second only to James Sicily. He led the way with 10 tackles and a team-high 28 pressure acts, with 7 score involvements as well.
So we had 88 tackles for the game, and we had 17 of those out of Nash and Newcomb. And Carl Amon had 5. Now, when we got Carl Amon, people were like, oh, you'll just see him running around the outside, a bit of a seagull. That's not how he's playing. He's locked into this team. This is round 6, going into round 7, and he is right on with how this team wants to play, and he's doing laser-like passes, and he's putting his body on the line, and I'm very, very in favour of Amon, who's had a fantastic trajectory considering a couple of those pre-season outings we watched.
That's right.
But that's how long it'll take for guys to fit into a lineup. And he's got experience. So you can imagine people talking about DGB and how he only got 3 touches. He's got to have some consistent form in the AFL in that side so that he starts to gel.
No one will talk about it because we're bottom of the ladder, the Hawks, but Carl Amon is one of the best recruits I can think of. Just an outstanding acquisition by the Hawks, a huge tick. He's been plugged into this lineup, producing exactly what we'd hoped for. He is that weapon on the wing. He's hitting the scoreboard. 19 pressure acts here, which I love. 1 goal and 2 assists to his name. How is he not fulfilling exactly what we needed? That's my question, because I think he's doing brilliantly.
Impey as well, the other Port Adelaide guy. He's been terrific. Ball movement, the way that he controls the game when he gets the ball. And the other bloke I think we should mention is Chad Wingard, who had one of his best games for a while after that disgusting injury.
Yeah, well, I certainly didn't expect him to play the following week.
Well, we were told he would not.
Now, the tongue apparently heals incredibly quickly, is what I'm told, but certainly I didn't think he was going to be playing.
Well, 8 contested possessions and 9 on the outside. It's a very good return for him. So the Port Adelaide boys are coming up trumps.
Well, it's Jarman Impey, who you mentioned before, who I felt absolutely lifted when the game was really very much on the line.
Takes the right risks too.
Yeah.
Which is, I hope CJ's watching.
Yes, that's true, yep.
Because CJ used to be like that, but he's sort of fallen back on...
Well, I hate to say it, but CJ has got a little bit of the frost ball about him, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, there's more effort going into him from the opposition, but he's not breaking the lines. He's, I think Bramble would be rubbing his hand through his spot. You want to mention Frost, don't you? Because I nearly had to revoke your Twitter rights.
Yeah, I suppose I was getting carried away. It's only that the tragedy is, mate, that once again, it's these mistakes that overshadow an otherwise solid game in the end.
Yeah, he needs to get them out of his system early.
Which he does, but then that kind of permeates your outlook for the rest of the game. Yeah. Whenever it gets to Frost, you're like, oh, God, here we go. But then he actually does perform. So, look, all in all...
A lot of people adjust their hair when Frost gets the ball, I've noticed. Just sort of... hands go up into their hair and then they come back down again. They
also remove their glasses and start rubbing their eyes. Oh dear!
But he had a good game. He had some very good intercept marks as well. There were a couple of times where the pack fell away and there was Frosty with the ball, and you thought, how on earth did that happen? And there must have been some stages where Sammy Mitchell was thinking about putting him forward again down in Tassie.
I mean, what do we do? Can we just maybe do some match sim in training just to get all those mistakes out of the way? How do we mitigate? How do we offset all this?
Yeah.
If that's what it takes, I'll be willing to entertain it.
On the flip side of that, Seamus Mitchell.
Yeah.
How good?
Seamless.
SEAMUSLY.
Seamlessly fitted into the lineup.
Very good. Very good. There was a moment last quarter where he did look inside. We were still up at this stage. Where he looked inside for the pass. And I thought, oh, no. Just kick it long, thanks. And he did. Most gratifying. Most gratifying. Him and James Sicily were very good in defence. James had that moment with Fogg.
Yeah.
Where he pushed him and tripped him at the same time, and that's not worth a goal.
No, it's pretty piss weak from all involved, really. It's just like Sicily probably shouldn't have done it. Fogarty shouldn't have fallen over like a sack of potatoes, and the umpire shouldn't have called it.
The only reason he gets paid is because the fourth umpire wants to do something. Anyway, very good from him. I mean, our top disposal getters were all top of the disposal efficiency. You're looking at, high 70s to mid 80s for Nash, Newcomb, Amon, Sicily, Hardwick, even Warple's sitting at 71. So that's excellent.
27 touches for Sicily in the end at 77.8%. Disposal efficiency, team high 11 marks, 661 metres gained. I just think it's games like this where you're crying out for a key position defender to support because, I mean, Walker and Fogarty kicking 4 goals and 3 goals respectively. We were there, mate, the week before against the Blues. Adelaide versus Carlton, and...
We're better than the Blues.
Yeah, well, it certainly seems that way, yeah. But, Carlton were torn to shreds by Walker, and I did think in the week leading up, is this the time to bring back Blank? We need someone else here. They didn't, and look, we almost won. It's fine, but I just, maybe that would have
It's
contained
fine,
them.
is it? You're still irritated.
Close losses are hard to take.
So Mitch Lewis is in the frame to come back next week to accompany our best forward, Fergus Green.
Who's just been unbelievable taking on that massive responsibility.
He is our best forward, right?
Well, he is.
He's better
Unquestionably.
He's gone past Mitch.
Not taking the bait. No, the thing is, I'm a massive Mitch Lewis fan, as we know, a noted Mitch Lewis fan, but Ferg's one of my favourites.
They're going to be fantastic together.
Yeah, they are. I'm so looking forward to that. Ferg continues to step up. We can't overstate how impressive he's been. 3 straight goals and an assist. Who doesn't love him?
His finishing, one round was a little awry.
Yeah, that was against Sydney, I think.
He has corrected that so well.
Mm-hmm.
Just stared it down, puts it straight through. That pass he got from Connor Nash, of course.
Oh, jeez.
Very, very good highlight.
Can't help yourself.
It was pitch perfect.
We'll move on from one Connor to
Just
another.
flighted perfectly.
Connor McDonald. At times, I felt he was very much set for a stint at Box Hill.
Oh, this is your hit list.
No, well, actually, by the end of the game, he did have some good influence. And 15 touches, kicked 1 goal, 1. I love that he posted 26 pressure acts.
Yeah, you don't really notice that, do you?
Yeah.
But he is up in our forward line pressure was good this week.
Yeah, well, that was second only to Newcombe. But in terms of forward line pressure, I think it was 16 tackles inside 50 to Adelaide's 8.
Yeah, how many did we get paid as holding the ball?
Yeah, I think Sam Mitchell might have been a bit miffed at that in the press conference.
It's all to the good of that Isaac Smith argument that, what's the odds of me actually getting holding the ball paid?
Yeah.
I'm not going to bother tackling because I might injure my delicate frame.
Please don't ever let us play like that.
Anyway.
That's probably my one gripe from yesterday, is that when we guard space, I don't think we're terribly good at it.
No one is. Because
that was pretty terrible at times yesterday. 4 uncontested marks to Adelaide, they have a shot on goal. That can't happen.
Oh, that, yeah. No, but they that's their game. They're very good at it. They've got some very, very talented players. And we basically had the pressure up so high that they couldn't get their game going the whole day.
Mm-hmm. Well, the one thing that Mitchell pointed out that he was very impressed with is the fact that we didn't concede more than 2 goals.
Big tick. And something we have to watch this week against the Dogs, because they're more than capable of stringing goals, and even more goals. Now, you've got Luke Brewster in the hit list here.
It's not a hit list. I mean, he had a very quiet day, didn't he? That can't be disputed.
No, I thought he got injured early and was hobbling a bit.
You might have been right.
So he looks sore.
But you have to be mindful of this stuff, that stars in the twilight of their career, the gap between their best and worst widens considerably.
And their potential to recover between games is less too. So people are asking, especially Bruno here, where's Butler? Why isn't he in the side? He kicked another 3 on the weekend. You watched the game, Nick. Why doesn't Butler just prize Bruce out of the lineup? Can you give us 500 reasons?
That's very good. You're itching to see that 500th goal. It's coming. You'll get it this year. But why not Butler for Bruce? Well, I'm finding it hard to see when it comes to Butler how he gets his goals. And if they're on a great, dazzling exhibition of talent and he earns them and they're really great, or is he just the beneficiary of really hard work from literally everyone else?
Is he just the finisher?
Yeah. He's an opportunist. He's a goal sneak. But I'm yet to determine, is he going to be able to work really hard in the seniors to get his goals?
Well, we know that his MO for that side is pressure acts in the forward 50.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he needs to get his goals. That's what they're looking for in the AFL.
Yeah, that's right.
That isn't part of Bruce's play,
especially
at his age. He's looking to create space and actually get the forward line functioning around him.
Yep.
So, it'll come for Butler. The time will come for Butler. But he's very good.
He is.
Having said that, O'Sullivan working up and down the ground, he's looking fantastic.
We'll definitely make mention of him a little later in the show. What about Max Lynch, who probably more than the loss was probably the sad story of the day for me?
Definitely. No, it's getting concerning now. He's very unlucky. I haven't seen the incident. I don't think they found it on the footage to show us what happened. But no.
But you just knew when the graphic came up. It's like, oh, that's a concussion.
Yeah,
most likely.
He got assessed and then he wasn't allowed back. goodness, I just hope he earned that spot.
He did.
He put in a lot of effort to get that back. Because we've brought Meek in, moved heaven and earth to get into the club, and then he's managed to get him out of the lineup and play, and he only lasts till half time. It's quite sad. And then you got to feel for the bloke as well as be concerned about, can he come back?
This one from Luca. After poor old Lynch left the ground yesterday, which was shattering to see, Long took up duties as second ruck and did very well in a pinch. Reeves has also looked less potent when playing alongside Meek. Could our future best 22 include Long as a Sean Grigg chop-out ruck?
Plays tall as Long. And he seems to be able to do anything that Sammy asks of him. Mm-hmm. He's very much a soldier. He'll take to any task. So he's just been thrown everywhere. Like
he has.
He's still under 10 games. Can you play ruck? Yeah. Can you play halfback? Yeah. Can you play wing? Yeah, no worries. Can you full forward? Is that all right? Yeah, no worries. Just everywhere. And he's finding his feet in all positions.
Well, that's right. I want to see more. This one from Stewie Bro. What was the hit-outs to advantage of Noodles? 42 hit-outs. Only the 4 disposals and 1 mark doesn't really cut it for me. Just wish he would use his tallest ever Hawthorn player status to dominate. Have him run with English next week, all game, so he at least gets to where the ball is. Now, Reeves ended up having 12 hit-outs to advantage for the record, and O'Brien for Adelaide had 13.
Yeah, and 42 and 41, respectively, for hit-outs. And the ruck continues to be irrelevant.
That's what I was going to say. I don't feel like the ruck had a massive bearing on this contest. I'm not sure.
No, the idea is that Sammy will make the ruck relevant at some point.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been relevant for a long time. Having said that, Reeves with that goal...
Yeah, pretty clever.
I mean...
Quick thinking.
Show me another ruckman that does that. That set the tone.
211cm ruckman. Those signals take a while to get up to the brain. So...
He was already signalling to swing his leg when he tapped it down.
That's right.
Maybe it was a bit of, if you blokes can't do it, I'll just have to do it myself, which I don't mind in a ruckman.
Yeah, exactly right. Some random notes from the game. I thought our tackling pressure was immense. Numbers through the roof, 88 in all. Tackles inside 50, 16 to 8 our way. Sam said efficiency dropped off to around 30% in the last quarter, which is, not going to help, obviously. That's question...
fatigue.
Yeah, for sure. Joe asks here, at Hawk Talk Pod, thoughts on the leadership and coaching in the last 5 minutes, the last fortnight. The combination of needlessly playing quickly and having such open opposition forward line has cost us dearly.
And Sicily was on the bench in the last couple of minutes too.
And he was thrown forward in the last minute or so.
Yeah.
When you've got a chance to win it, okay, I get it. But look, it's a young side, and this will be eradicated in time. This will be improved upon in time, is the hope.
I was less bothered in the hour after the game than I am now. Because I was thinking, gosh, we played well.
I'm a big believer in us at the moment. I'm feeling pretty good.
So this was a team effort. You look at the side here. No one really was particularly bad on the day. Yes, Bruce was down. We lost Max Lynch early. Mackenzie, I thought he was good. Mm-hmm. Apart from the last quarter where he couldn't get a touch and it was a little bit too hot for him. Reeves, similarly, didn't get a touch in the last quarter. That's a question mark. Denver, Granger Barras kept coming off his own man to try and impact the contest and is still learning when that's appropriate and when that isn't.
Yes.
But only 3 touches for the game, so they're just going to persist with him, right? They're going to give him a block.
Well, I think they need
block of games. Yeah. And then Blank will come in if he's not up to scratch. Mm-hmm. So when you look at next week, off of all these things, and you look at the Dogs and you think, they're pretty good, right?
I don't know. I actually think they're quite gettable, the Dogs. I do. I have a funny feeling about this week.
Well, I did ask the footy gods if I could see Max Ramsden against Timmy O'Brien.
He did, yeah. Fantastic proposition.
That would be delicious to me. Because Max seems to, he's a highly, highly skilled young ruck/forward, and I'm very excited.
Before we get to Box Hill, because I know you're itching to talk about them, let's go rapid fire through these last few questions here. This one from Bryce, discussing the masterstroke of keeping Seamus Mitchell on the list. Drafted at pick 29, took another step forward on the weekend. Quick and a very good ball user, might be a high quality find.
No, he certainly seems to be top end talent. So whether that's where he finishes his career, because he came to us as a small forward, and if he finds his feet in the back line, maybe he'll shift forward as well.
Oh, I was itching for him to have that goal.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been nice.
That was a shame.
This one from Dino. Happy with how the boys are competing, hoping we get to see Nash, Jai and Daisy in the middle with Ward and Frenchie rotating in. When the game is there to be won, I'm looking to see which leaders step up. Did Warpedo play in the second half yesterday, or am I being harsh? Well, let's look at the numbers. In the first term, 8 touches. Second, 6. In the third, he had just the 2. In the fourth, he had 5.
So 14 in the first half, 7 in the second half. That's a real tail away. Mm-hmm. But he gained, 420 metres.
Yeah.
So he had an impact on the game, but Warps can definitely feel the pressure at the moment, I think.
He's still doing those no-look kicks that I don't really love.
Well, nobody loves them when you haven't got a key forward.
Well, that's true, but he does it even under no pressure, which is...
Perceived pressure.
Yeah, there's the perceived pressure there, but... This last question from Sky. Are you guys happy with what you're seeing at this stage of the season? And what things would you like to see implemented from here on for the next couple of games?
Well, I want to see Max Ramsden.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to bring in another ruck next week. You got Tim English. You'll probably just set Reeves the task of roving around with English all day, who's very, very mobile ruck.
Mm-hmm.
So Meek, did he do enough to come in the VFL?
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably come straight back in.
I reckon they will. They will pull that trigger.
How confident are you on Mitch Lewis?
Well, we're just kind of hanging out for the injury report from the club at this point. They said last week that he's very much set for the Bulldogs game.
Mm-hmm.
So until I hear differently, I do expect him to be an inclusion. I don't think they bring him back via the VFL.
No?
Well, no. We need a target. We need one urgently. Ramsden, do you bring Ramsden in? I still don't think Ramsden's going to debut before the bye.
No, I don't think so either, but I'd love to see it.
Yeah, same. Am I happy with what we're seeing at this stage of the season?
Close losses, like we said. Perfect.
I am. I mean, I'd rather wins. I hate the heartache of a close loss, but it's a far cry from being belted by Sydney when we were non-competitive most of the day, and then Geelong in the second half. We're not seeing a different opposition, granted, the last couple of weeks, but I'm very pleased with our efforts. So that's it for me. I think I said at the start of the year that this rebuild with Sammy is not always outcome focused. It's not going to be wins and losses. So am I seeing progress? Yes. And I'm pretty sure that would be most Hawthorn fans. Box Hill. Magnificent win. They broke Coburg in the end to post a huge win. Coburg were plucky and played a brand of footy that I felt very closely resembled Box Hill's MO. So that was interesting to see, the two going head-to-head on that game plan. But we were still in control for most of the day and then just buried them in the final term with about 5 goals in 10 minutes, which was good fun.
Did you watch this game?
I did.
Weddle, tell me about him.
Everything that you read about him is coming to pass.
Good hair?
I mean, the showcase is there. It's the dash off half-back. It's the sublime ball use.
How high does the ball go when he passes?
Not too high. I think he's a good deliverer.
Ever noticed that about him? The really good guys, they can...
I guess that's true. Come to think of it, yeah, you might be onto something there. But it was the triple threat of Weddle, Bramble, and Callum Brown.
What the hell's Bramble on? It's
ridiculous.
I know, right? He doesn't want to be playing in the VFL too long.
37 touches. Yeah. Not bad. But the weapons off half-back. Those three guys.
Clearly too good for VFL, Bramble.
Yeah, he is. He is. Yeah, he's proven that now. I was unsure for a little while, but I think the past fortnight has been extremely strong from him.
Brown had 33. Now, this next one, O'Sullivan, with 27.
Yeah.
He going past Butler? Because he's quick as well. He's very quick.
Yep, he can accumulate the footy way more. Way better than Butler does.
Yeah. McGuinness, 26. Weddle with the 25 and Mercedes with the 23. McGuinness, 26. That's very encouraging.
Yeah. He really dug in. I was very pleased with this Box Hill win. I did think at some point, like, come on, guys, we're playing the bottom of the ladder team here. Are we going to break them eventually? And we did. And it was sensational. It was brutal in that final term. And Thorpe with 4 goals, Kaczynski with 3. who I thought put in a pretty good showing. This is the first time in a long time where I felt he played with some confidence. He had some really good touches around the ground too.
He had about 14 touches, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is good. That's good involvement.
Yeah, no, he was definitely influential, and he got his own personal reward on the scoreboard for it as well.
Yeah.
Good strong marks too.
Ramsden, did he stand out at all? Or?
Well, Ramsden kicked 2 goals too, I think, in the end. And he just keeps on impressing. I still don't think they'll bring him in before the bye, but he's getting there. I really do. I'm a big believer in that we have good talent in Max Ramsden.
One of the people everyone's asking about is Stevens. We're now going into round 7. Stevens has been in the VFL the whole time. Are we going to see him elevated to the lineup after, basically we got rid of Tom Mitchell for Stevens?
Yeah, that's certainly a way of looking at it. This question from Hyde asking if Mackenzie might be due for a run in the twos to get Stevens a run. Well, Stevens ended up with 24 touches and 7 clearances for Box Hill. I did not think too much of his game early on, but he worked his way into it. Right. It was really good. He kept plugging away. It was a tale of, persistence paying off for him. I thought he was good by the end.
But it worries me that he's clearly not above the level.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not bringing him in.
Right.
Certainly you look at the talent that accumulated a little bit more than him. Bramble probably gets a shot before him. McGuinness probably would get a shot before Stevens.
But they were all playing outside, right?
Yeah, I suppose so. But, Long is sitting in the seniors. I'm not bringing him out.
No.
I think I'm going to say that when Stevens gets a shot, it probably will be at Long's expense. I imagine they just do the switch there.
Yeah, I think you'll see Weddle before Ramsden into the senior lineup.
Yep. Weddle before the bye at this rate.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe even West Coast and Tassie.
Oh.
You think about flying down. Our next game for the Box Hill in Gippsland next week to host the reigning premiers.
Gippsland is a very big place. Is there any specific joint in Gippsland where we are?
Hang on. I'm getting to it. To host the reigning premiers, Casey Demons, in a doubleheader at the Wonthaggi Recreation Reserve.
Okay.
Is that specific enough for you?
Yeah, off to Wonnie.
Yeah. The VFLW contest is going to get things underway at 11:30 and then the VFL following at 2:05 p.m. So why Wonthaggi? There's some sort of partnership here. People have asked me. I've sent them a link and here, read this. I don't know why it's happening, but it is.
Right.
Yeah, some sort of partnership going on. So we've done that. That's what's happening.
So that's Casey?
That's Casey, yeah. We're playing Casey, who suffered a loss.
Which day is that?
Oh, yeah, the day'd be handy too, hey. That's on Sunday, April 30.
Well, there we go. Everybody get along to that. That's nice and convenient.
It's a shame because,
Not that Casey's all that convenient anyway.
No, that's true. But this is Box Hill's first massive test, and Casey did lose against Richmond. That was a surprise loss, and I think this could be an absolute cracker.
God, I haven't caught up with that. They lost to Richmond.
Who
are poor in the AFL.
Yeah, that's right.
They're only one win and a draw.
Yeah, see, that's a team that should be getting more scrutiny than us as well.
Oh, give Sydney a free pass. 3 points.
Yep.
After half time.
Anyway,
3 points.
We've got Western Bulldogs at Marvel Stadium this week at the excellent and convenient time of Saturday, 4:35 p.m.
With Day and Lewis coming back into the lineup.
Yep.
Do we have a Daniel? We can have Daniel Day-Lewis join the lineup? No?
It's times like this, so I wish we had held on to Howe.
And Max Lynch coming out, unfortunately. But Patrick wants to know, are we seeing any more debutants? You're saying Weddle will be the next one we see.
Yeah, not this week, but it probably will happen before the bye. Patrick asks if we're holding off.
Are we second-guessing ourselves,
Yeah, well,
It's the accusations of tanking.
Yeah, we want to control the narrative.
Nah.
That's
all outside noise, and
exactly.
I think Sammy's very clear on that.
Yeah, I think the club would say that, we don't listen to that stuff, and I would believe them. I don't think they care about that. They'll just go about what they want to do and not worry about what's said about them.
Tex from Tassie, I think, isn't he?
Is he?
Do you think that Ramsden is ready to make his debut now? Not necessarily as a ruck, but as a forward that could pinch hit in the ruck. That's exactly what I want to see. That's exactly how I see him.
Yeah, I think he's nearing being ready, certainly, and I would play him as a forward. And I think he would actually excel as a forward in our senior lineup. But whether we see it this week, I don't think so.
Pete is looking ahead to the mid-season draft, which is, the 4th week of May?
Yes, yeah, it's coming up.
What are we getting? And potentially who? He wants the names.
Yeah, well, we'll look at this a bit closer to the actual draft itself and pick out our favourites, as we normally do with the main draft.
Whispers, yeah.
Yep, that's right. I'm still thinking key position forward.
Yeah.
But then key position backman is also a bit tempting. Yeah, I don't know.
BTA?
Best talent available? That seems to always be the case, doesn't it? I think we're good for mids, let me say that.
You have omitted, as Box Hill have done, apparently there's a rule.
What's going on with Jed Rule?
Well, there must be a rule. We're not allowed to talk about Jed Rule.
What is this, Fight Club? What's going on? I need to look into this because kicks 4 goals in round 1. We don't hear from him again.
Don't need him.
Oh, actually, that's full credit to Box Hill because they're doing magnificent things without Fergus Green or Ben Cavara.
Yeah.
Now, they're 2 extremely prolific goal kickers, and Box Hill have not been fazed in the least by that.
Yep.
So it's pretty good. Credit to them. Why no Jed Rule? Are they just keeping him on the down low so no one sees a hint of him?
Can't think of any other reason. Can you?
Well,
I mean, we bought in Whack this week.
Whack, and didn't he?
He's good.
Yeah,
but,
I liked him.
Interesting debut.
Yeah, I'm going to have to research what has happened to Rule and just what he's doing and where he's getting around these days, because it should be in Box Hill. He earned it, but,
Are we about to get a cease and desist from the club?
I'm not trying that hard, mate. I've got other stuff on. And besides, we've got Thorpe kicking 4. I'm pretty relaxed with what's happening in the forward line at Box Hill.
Now, Richard has lined up a great hip and shoulder to all those out there waiting for Harley Reid to arrive at Hawthorn.
Yeah, I knew this would be controversial.
Do we need Harley Reid? Thank you, Richard. We'll come back to you on that. No, we got, what did he say? Newcomb, Nash, Warple, McDonald, Long with Day and Ward to come back in, and Stevens and McGuinness in the 2s. Our depth seems really good. Well, I think the point is Harley Reid looks like a once-in-a-generation midfielder.
Yes. So it would be posited that Reid instantly eclipses a few of those names.
Yeah, like we've seen with Sheasel.
Yeah.
And then we compare it to the other guys that went early in the draft, and Sheasel is obviously good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Plug and play.
Yep, he's proved that.
And although the team is now on the wane, he's still performing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people are accusing us of tanking, because he does look that good.
Yeah.
He looks worth tanking for.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Melbourne, who were just trying to acquire as much pick ones as they could. And then if you're coaching, you'd hold out until they started actually winning. But in this case, Harley Reid.
The hype is just so huge for this kid, Harley Reid, that we're getting to a stage that whoever gets the number 1 pick, if they don't use it on Reid...
Oh, no.
Well, exactly. It would be crazy. That's what's happening right here at the moment.
That would end a recruiting career.
Yeah, basically.
Because the risk-reward is unfathomable.
Yeah.
You pick a different guy, and they're like, well, you should have picked Harley Reid. It's pretty obvious.
The whole industry
would pick Harley
lose
Reid.
Their minds.
You pick Harley Reid, and he doesn't work out. And you're like, well, anyone else would have picked him.
Exactly.
So the risk is...
Yeah.
No, just goes pick one.
So that's what's on the line. But, Richard mentions here a guy that we haven't talked about at all, especially with the inclusions this week, potentially. Josh Ward.
Yeah.
Managed this week against Adelaide. And, is he good to come back in?
Yeah. They've got to make room for Wardy, don't they?
Well, it just makes the midfield merry-go-round interesting, doesn't it? Because you've got Day and Ward coming back into the side.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, CJ, take CJ out.
Ooh.
Put Day on the half-back flank.
Yeah.
Let him rotate through the midfield. You got Scrimshaw there already.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Don't mind it. But how are we feeling about this week? Western Bulldogs versus Hawthorn, Marvel Stadium.
Well, you seem to think the Dogs are cherry ripe, but I picked the Dogs to absolutely cane Freo, and I was correct.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't see any reason why it'd be easier this week.
But I would have picked that too, because I think Freo are mediocre. So, Free are all out of sorts this season, and I think a lot of clubs could take them to task the way they're going about it. I don't think the Dogs are cherry ripe. I wouldn't go that far, but just I've seen them enough this season to just think, yeah, they're not anything special. What are they sitting 3-3? Can we keep that going?
Nash.
We
hadn't mentioned him for a while.
All right. We've come full circle because we're about to wrap up. What do you want to say about Connor Nash?
I want to say that to all those people out there who finally are embarking on the Connor Nash train, what do I want to say, Nick?
I don't know, but it's smart.
Welcome.
Yeah, there it is.
Welcome. There it is.
So smart.
I remember. No, come on. There were a lot of people that had him in the gun. That he's never going to make it. Wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Put it out there on social media, no less. Mm-hmm. And now I hope they're applauding him. I really do, because it's not about them, saving face or anything. This is a goat who's been so determined to actually make something of his career.
Now, I'm not going to edit that out.
That he has What? What did I do?
You said you went to say this is a guy, and I'm fairly sure if I listened back, you said this is a goat, greatest of all time.
No, it's still tempered with This is tempered with maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, and kind of put in a couple of good games, but this guy looks like he is going to be of great impact for this young group.
Yeah. I see it as we're at the beginning of something pretty good. It's going to be pretty enjoyable to watch. It took us a while to get there, but it feels like we're here now, and it's great to see. And how do you like the fact that your boy Connor Nash is firing? He's flying at the moment, and we could have my boy Mitch back in the side.
Yeah, let's see if he hits his straps.
Yep. All right, well, on that note, we need to wrap up. Of course, one of the best ways to spread the word about our show is to take a moment to leave us a rating. You're right, Chuckles? What's going on? Or review wherever you're listening to this, whether it's Apple or Spotify, for instance. If you like what we do, we'd really appreciate it if you could tell the world. It really helps us out. And we've also built a massive community of diehard Hawks fans around the show. You can find us online at Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And as always, we'd like to extend a massive thank you to our many proud, passionate, and paid-up Patreon subscribers who help make the Hawk Talk podcast possible. We cannot emphasize enough that you play a big role in making this show everything that it is. You help us put time into this show each and every week, and we're delighted to provide you a bit of bonus content in return when you sign up. So for any of our listeners who haven't subscribed and are keen to get on board, do head to patreon.com/HawkTalkPod for all the details.
Yeah. I was just thinking, it's not often you see the scape edited out of scapegoat. There you go.
That's how it is going forward, huh?
That's how it is.
No longer a scapegoat, just the goat.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better ending for this podcast.
It's nice, isn't it?
I just think we wrap it up there.
Yeah.
Look, it was a heartbreaking loss, 2 in a row, but I'm feeling a bit bullish about getting the win over the Bullies.
Okay. Good. What versus Nash, is it, Nick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The marquee matchup of the weekend.
Beautiful.
Mark my words. This has been another edition of the Hawk Talk podcast. We'll catch you next week. We are a happy team at Hawthorn.